Good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your Spider ETF stock market wrap-up for Thursday evening, August 10th, 2023. So we're supposed to believe that you hit the number that the market's looking for in CPI. You drop, let's call it a tenth, in headline and in core, and that's going to do it. The Fed is through. They're not going to have to go any further. I'm not in that camp. I'll just make it real simple. I do the math. Let's assume that you keep doing that each month. So in the course of a year, at a tenth, you're going to lose a percentage point. Let's assume that you lose 1.5 points even, because you're only varying between 1/10 and 2/10 so far. You're not showing me that you can drop more. And that's going to get the Fed down to its 2% number when? When my hair turns brown? I mean, that's not going to do it. Do you think the easy part of taking inflation out is done? I would think it is. So now you're at the part where it's sticky. And you're seeing that because in the core inflation, we keep hearing, oh, rents are going to go down, everything's going down. Don't believe me? Do me a favor. Go back 30 days, bring up your news clips, type in the word rent in Google, what did they do for the month, and call in the headlines. All we kept hearing is they're going down. They went up 0.4. They didn't go down. They went up 0.4. Is that a big component in core inflation? Oh, it's a big boy. So what this means is that what the newscasters and the people, and do you ever notice they bring back the same people over and over to talk to you? Most of the stations do that. It's a shame that they don't get a lot of new faces. CNBC does a heck of a better job on that than, well, actually it's Bloomberg, I think, does a better job on that than CNBC. But just want to bring you back in on that. And inevitably, they have the same opinions over and over, right or wrong. How long did we hear from Mike Wilson from JP Morgan bearish? A year? Till they finally threw in the towel? They've still got him on regularly, okay? I mean, they're not getting the new faces. They need them. They need different perspectives. And my perspective is just what I said. I realize I am not an academic. I am not an economist. I'm just a guy that goes out and spends money, and I'm not seeing that it's going further. I'm seeing that it's going less. My utilities bills, because of the heat, I'm just talking like I'm you, not Ira. My utility bills in Texas aren't getting any cheaper. They're not getting cheaper in Florida. They're more than they were a year ago. My rent is going up, not down. The market is tight wherever you're at. We keep hearing that home prices are going to fall. And they did, but there's none available for sale. Oh, I forgot to say that. And if you can sell them, do I qualify for a 7% mortgage? Oh, that's another issue. And if I do, how much more is that going to cost me? Well, anyway, I look at it, that's more money out of my pocket. That's my personal inflation. So how do I make my ends meet? I'm just talking like an average person out there. So I didn't buy into this morning in any manner. And the one thing I was telling my subscribers, stop orders, even the video. You got to have a straight stop on this thing. It can't afford to make a new low on the day. If it does, this market's got a problem. And it's exactly what it did. Gave up the early $7, $8 gains and just wiped all that out. That's one of them. I can go on the others. I'm impressed that some of them did better, okay? You've got to look and see which ones did better. You certainly did okay in Netflix and Amazon. They held on. I know a lot of people like Disney here. Make Disney prove that they can do the turnaround. You don't need to be the first guy on the block that says, oh, Disney's cheap and I want to own it here. Make them show you that they can perform the turnaround. I certainly believe they got the right man there, but there's a lot of work to be done. He left, he's back, and he's got things to solve galore. When we look at Netflix, as much as it was up, big deal. Does that look to you like it's going anywhere just yet? I'm not seeing that. When I would take a look at the swing line, the trend is up in a sideways market that keeps getting thrown back from hitting the 18-day average. Actually, if you take out 427.50, you could end up with lower highs, lower lows, opening the door to get back to the 404.26 level if this thing wants to decline. That's a pretty big decline. That would be in the neighborhood of, what, 5%? Whoa. So it's got to prove that it can get up, and it's got to get over 443.57 and close over that to tell me at least that it wants to do something. It's come off being oversold, rallied, and where did it go to? Remember how often do I tell you, markets go to the line in the sand, and it's from there that they make their decision what they want to do. This hasn't made its decision. It's making it, present tense, in front of it, in front of us. Rivian. Soon as they said they could produce more cars, it was the end of the game. They came out with their first really bullish conference and everything, and it topped the market out. You're no longer pushing 28, you're now at 21. I look for support around the $20 mark. I think you and I talked about that. It's pushing the lower Bollinger Band, and it's oversold already. UGA, gasoline, prices are going up right now. We're going into the end of the driving season. As we get to the end of the driving season, we have to see what this market might or might not do. Generally speaking, people take their last trips right now, and that seems to be what we're getting. You got to look and see if there's any outages anywhere that cause some spikes that can happen. This is that time of year. And soon we'll be talking conversion time, where you're not making gasoline, you're starting to make now the heating oil, the jet fuel for the winter. In XLF, the service sector, you've gone absolutely narrowing these bands. Look at how wide they were back over here. Look at how they've narrowed in. You got to prove you can do something. You're oversold. You're saying, hey, the trend is down. Let's get short against the Bollinger Band. Sure. That's the right thing to do. In the industrial sector, you're sideways as can be. There is no play. When this happens, it's a churn. Let your neighbor want to be the guy that buys it above there or sell it below there and get the thing caught. It's got to prove it can break out one way or the other. It's proven nothing at this point. NVIDIA, no, you had no business doing this. So I'm not saying get bearish at a Bollinger Band. I'm saying I don't want to be long anymore. Enough. This is a market that gave back all these gains. It's back to lows all the way back here. It's like the tech play had its day. Money's moved out into other things, and this was not a good day for this today. It's oversold. I'm not saying go short down here. I am saying it's going to have a heck of a time at 452 because that's where people that hung in will probably want to come out. In coin, you're still bearish. If you embed with the red and the blue lines going sideways under 20 for 3 days or more, then I get bearish. Now, day one, both numbers under 20. Day two, day three, you got it. So if the market, the way that I teach it in my enhanced Bollinger Band course, wants to get a good pop, away you go. Then I get interested. But you got to take the Bollinger Band course to see how this works because it's tricky and you got to pay attention there. And XHB, you've got lower highs, lower lows. But are you not sideways? I teach you to avoid this. This is the pattern that I avoid all the time because you think you're getting bearish enough, it's going to break out to go short, inevitably comes back. It does this all the time. This is where moves come from. Eventually, it's going to break out of here. Do we understand that? It has to. It's the only way it can widen the bands. There's ways to catch that or think you can catch it, which what we call breakout rules. Don't have them right here. In the energy sector, now this is the area where some profit taking is probably happening now. You hit the Bollinger Band, and this pays good attention that when you hit Bollinger Bands that the market likes to hit them and back away from them. So I'd pay attention to that. Gold, how do you get bearish gold? How do you get bullish gold is what I wanted to say. When you've got 5.5%, 6% CDs for a year you can pick up. How do you get bullish gold? When inflation isn't falling very big, and you'll say, well, that's inflationary. Yeah. Problem is the Fed keeps adding to interest rates. In other words, they keep raising them. The dollar gets stronger off of that, and that's what you're fighting. All right? On its own, gold eventually will have its time and place to be long. It's not right now is what I'm saying. Same in silver. Now you're under the 200-day average for the first time in a very long time. Wow, this whole chart, you haven't been under the 200-day average other than back here, which was March. Got it? You don't typically stay under that very long. So be cautious right here is the best word. Copper still acting bearish. You did see the sixth largest developer in China, property developer, is now in arrears on 2 bond payments. They have 30-day grace period. If they don't pay, then they go into default. The bigger problem is they lost $7 billion. You heard the word I said, $7 billion in the first half of the year. Who the heck wants to buy from these people? You're petrified they're going to go under. In China, you go out and you buy something, you pay for it when you buy it. Did you know that? You get a mortgage, you're paying off your mortgage. What if they don't deliver it? This is what's happened already. We saw this over the past 2 years with their property issues that they have. So how does this countrywide going to go out and sell new properties? The Chinese people are not stupid people. They're not. They're educated. I don't see that happening. The government's going to have to come in and do some guarantees and do a bailout, which they've been super reluctant to do. As I've said over and over for the guys buying copper, they talk the talk, they don't walk the walk, they don't know how to dance, and this is why you've been coming down like that. In TLT, you can see how the market is just sitting here, oversold. Now, as this falls, do you think that means we're getting higher or lower interest rates? Tick, tock, tick, tock. First contestant. That would mean rates are going up. Uh-oh. That's the opposite of what we've been told. All the newscasters saying the Fed is through. UUP, well, why is it going up? Interest rates are clicking higher. It's giving a bid into this market right now, and that puts pressure on the euro, which finally got a bear market rally into the zone of the 18-day average and failing there. So what it's caught between is the 100-day to the 18 and very oversold market. You put it together, you come up with game plans. The game plan for this market, Bollinger Bands, they're super important. You're seeing it. How do you take the course? At the end of this video, it's there. Move your cursor to the top here. It'll take you right to the area about the course itself as well. Or go to iraepstein.com. Under the word education, it's all there. Educate yourself. You're your own best tool, not me. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.